Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of the video. If you've not seen the first part of this, I'll link it in the description and also in the top corner of this video now. So you'll see from the last video that the drone did brilliantly on that range test in 0 degrees. 4,527 meters is excellent, but is it able to get back to me? And this is where it gets interesting. So that automatic return to home warning came on, and that's when the drone was then returned home automatically. So when the drone does turn around, it loses some signal. It always has a weaker signal when it's facing you, so that drains some battery a bit because it actually disconnects for about 10 seconds. You also want to lower your altitude slightly while still retaining that signal, so let's lower that. And then from before, the wind was coming from the sea. Now over sea it is unpredictable and the wind can change direction. You can have swirls really easily, and this is what happens here. To conserve more battery life, I've turned off the recording to the memory card. So this is direct cache memory that is stored on the DJI Fly app, and it's actually, if you're going to do a screen recording on your phone, it's also a good idea, so it's actually recording on your phone. Now the drone is having a tough time coming back due to that wind. When I was flying out, I was flying into the wind, and it just shows you that that wind can change direction rapidly. This battery is still on 64, which isn't too bad, but if you look to the right of that, that's only 5.5 minutes of flight time, and we're still just under 4,000 meters. The drone again loses signal, and what you want to do here is continue to be pushing forward on that stick. Even if the screen is lagging, you're not getting any video, you'll notice the distance marker is still going down. So if the picture lags or you can't see the picture at all, the drone is still coming back, and you can assist that by pushing straight forward on the stick. So don't just hover or panic, just keep on pushing forward on that stick as much as you can. If you're going to be sending your drone out at a distance, these are things to bear in mind and actually think of before you're going to set off flying. That wind can change direction really fast and have a massive effect on your drone. So if I wasn't making this video for YouTube, I wouldn't actually fly normally like this. I'm just wanting to show you if this drone is capable of getting back or what to do if it can't. So we're over 3,000 meters away still, and that drone now is approaching the 50% mark, and we're directly over the sea. So your other alternative plan is you could land it somewhere just to the right hand side where that wall is, and then you can just go and retrieve it yourself. Downside obviously to that is your drone could get stolen, or you could end up landing it in the wrong place or right near somebody, so you've got to be really careful. So I'm going to carry on going, and then we'll assess it on the way back, but you need to be thinking of a plan B just in case. The return to home on this drone is excellent. A one button press and you could literally get this drone back to you with confidence. But the drone doesn't take into account the wind or change of wind in these circumstances. So it's something that you need to be bearing in mind. Now, if you notice from this video, the automatic return to home came on when the battery icon colour changed to orange. The circle around the battery indicator actually has 3 different sections. So when it's leaving green, you'll see it's getting really close to orange. At that point, you need to be actually returning to home yourself or cancel, continue going forward. You want to leave yourself 5 or 10% just in case for any changes of winds or issues on the way back, such as losing signal, something like that. So always return to home before it's going to get to amber. Ignore what I'm doing this purposely to show you and how to react if this did happen to you, because hindsight's brilliant and you'll get people saying, well, you should have done this, should have done this, but at the time a lot of people will just go into panic mode and think, oh god, what should I do? And every second counts when you're getting that drone back. So if we have a look now, it's now on 35%, but that only equates to 3 minutes of flight time roughly, and we are over 2,000 meters away. So at this point now, it's starting to get a bit hairy, thinking, is this drone actually going to get back to me? I'm still over the sea. You know, the tide comes in here really fast, and it's actually unpredictable the way it covers the sand, so it's not the best. It's certainly not the best so far. I'm going to let you watch the next 10%, and then I'll be back with you at 20% battery. Hey guys, so just roughly around about 20% battery now, and we've got just over 1500 meters. So the drone's actually really close to getting back to me, you know. I'm actually thinking it might actually do this. If it wasn't for that wind it's facing, it would definitely smash this and get back to me, no problems. It's that change of winds which can happen, so it's definitely, like I said before, something you need to be wary about and considerate about and return to home quicker. That drone now on that last 20% rapidly declines. We're on 15% battery now, which only means 1 minute of flight time. So now I'm actually going to be thinking I need to get back more over to land, because the last thing I want to be doing is descending over this sea. This also is why you should never do a long range test over the sea either. So I always just do it just on the shoreline. So I've actually got a plan B, somewhere you can actually land. These people who fly direct over to ships and everything else, you're just absolutely risking your drone so much of it not getting back. So at 10% battery now, this is where you'll get the critical low battery warning. We're still 1,000 meters away now, so I know that it's not going to get back to me. It's still just under 1,000 meters, and we've only got a minute left of flight time. So I'm actually bringing it in slightly now away from the sea and trying to find a suitable place to land. You do still have control of both sticks, the altitude and the pitch of the drone, especially the altitude stick. That puts more strain on the battery, so you don't want to be touching that too much. So we've now got the critical low battery landing indicator, so now it's going to automatically start to land. So if it does this, what you don't want to do is just do nothing. You've still got control of that pitch. So if you can see now on this picture, the forced landing in progress has got a little icon. If you can't cancel that, it does it automatically. But looking at this picture now, if I don't do anything, it's going to land directly here where the water is. So using that pitch stick, I'm going to continue pushing forward and try and find a place over the sand or the brick wall to get it away from all this water which is actually coming over the sand. This is what I mean about being unpredictable. It's in patches, so you have to find a suitable place. Unfortunately, this is the only area of sand coming back where there's actually people walking, so I've not only got to avoid the water, I've got to get it nowhere near them as well. You can still control the altitude slightly, but your main aim is to actually be pitching forwards and backwards, getting it lined up somewhere where it's safe to land. So I'm actually fairly happy with this area now. It's away from these people and I can land it here, and it gives me a bit of time to go and recover that drone. So you pick a place, and then if you see now the height, it starts descending on its own and it will keep descending. Luckily this sand looks fairly dry, and let's hope these people walking don't want a Mini 2. So it actually lands now on its own, which you'll now see. I'm going to keep this going and I'll show you what to do now. So luckily that sand looks pretty dry, but I don't want to hang about because that tide comes in really quick and unpredictable around here. So these are the steps that you need to do if you actually have to do a forced landing like this. So you want to quickly move over to your Find My Drone, and that will indicate on the map where your drone is currently. Here gives you an option to start flashing and beeping, but that also uses more batteries, so maybe save that for when you get a bit closer to it. But actually looking on that map, it can pinpoint and show you where about that drone is currently, and then you can keep using that. If you can't get to it and you need to come back at a later date, it saves that information for you. Even if the drone loses all battery, you've got that as a marker of where that drone last was. If when flying you put your phone on airplane mode like I do, you want to switch that back on so that it can get a precision search using your phone of where you are compared to the drone. So turn airplane mode off, go back onto the DJI Fly app, press got it, and then you actually want to then start walking or get in the car and go to where that drone last was. So this now is being recorded as cache memory like I said before, so it's a good idea in your settings to make sure that you've got enough storage on your phone. So it's a really good tool to use, and actually if someone does nick your drone, you can identify him by recording anyway. So I'm going to keep walking. As you look in that little blue icon at the top of this map, that's me, and that's will move as you get closer to the drone, as it's doing here the closer you get. So you don't have to actually start flashing and beeping the drone just yet, because you can get closer to it, and then when you are within a few meters of it, then you can then start the flashing and beeping. Because this thing being so small and grey, depending on the surface colour it's landed on, it is pretty tricky to find. So we've ran over, and you'll see us now actually through the drone camera running down the sea wall here. coming to retrieve that drone. So just keep on going, as you'll see in the marker there, it got closer. As we got closer, we put the flashing icon on, and then there's us picking this drone up, retrieving it. Yeah, it's back to us, ready for another crazy test. But I hope you found that helpful. The main thing to do is don't panic, just follow those steps, repeat and watch this video. If you've not watched the first video, go and check it out. Go and check the other drone videos out. I hope you found that helpful. It was some fun making it. It was a bit twitchy at times, but I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next video. And we're testing out to see if this DJI Mini 2 is any good in the snow in minus conditions. Is it still stable? Does that battery last at all? Can you do any photos and videos in it of good quality?